Guys, we've got huge updates, and I'm a little behind because it's holidays. Nuck is doing stuff. I'm going to all kinds of, you know, A-list parties everywhere. Christmas parties, holiday parties, and just been a busy guy. But we've got huge news on the 7 Days to Die update. The Survival Revival update 2.5 just came out. I've got the deets here. Finally, at long last, water survival with empty jars. We got our jars back, people. And I think the way they've done it makes a little more sense. We'll cover that. Vehicle storage improvements, great. We're going to get more storage. Got a couple new zombies, Rancher and Chucky. Branch new smell system. So yeah, we're going to have a smell system. So that's going to be, when you see a zombie, they're going to take some dirty laundry and mail it to your house. And then you'll get it like 2 to 3 weeks. Smell it and you'll be like, oh my God, that's what Chuck smells like? That's crazy. And you have to mail it back because then they'll charge you like $400. No, I'm kidding. It's a new smell system based on the amount of raw meat you have, and there's options to work around it. Distant storm rendering. So now before you go into the biome, like Nuck has done several times, and find out like, oh, there's another storm. How fun. Now you can see it before you enter the zone. Updated the biome hazards. There's protective clothing now that'll be available. We have an apiary for bees and honey. We have a couple new honey-inspired recipes I saw. Third-person camera is going to be huge, so we get that PUBG experience. That third-person PUBG experience, or like I align it more with like the motorcycle or the vehicle experience full time. So I'm looking forward to trying that out and see if I like it or not. Turret ammo improvements. Great. Quest improvements. These are interesting to go through. New character window, so we'll see a new character with better lighting now when we're in character mode. And then, of course, there's free cosmetic skins. That's cool. We don't have to pay for them, but they're kind of boring. New Trader Gen model. What the fuck? What? Why are we? All right, I haven't seen this yet, so we'll have to go into the game and see what that looks like. New food and water bars with stats. Okay, great. We've got improved water jars. So now the water jars will be available. We'll be able to get them as usual. But what I found interesting in the game was to balance gameplay. Jars are a one-time use, not refunded by default. So we've got some options to override that in the settings if you want to. And then it mentions unlocking the dew collectors at water crafting level 16. I'll be interested to see how these changes alter my current series going on, which we've got at least one more episode to do to get through the next Horde Night. The next update here, so glass jars are back, great. We got what we wanted. I think they make more sense. We could even craft them with the forge if you have a crucible. And I think it makes a little more sense here. We'll see what it looks like as we get to play the game more. So instead of having endless jars, and I've got 600 jars, you know, hopefully it'll be less to maintain in your inventory, but cool that we got them back nonetheless. At the point, at the game stage that I'm at now in my game, it doesn't really matter much, but early on it would have made a big difference, I think. So there's the vehicle storage improvements. We're getting extra storage slots for each vehicle. So even the bicycle is going to get an extra storage slot. And then the storage capacity is increasing by 1, which will add 10 slots. So you can get a total of 20 extra slots. And that's even on a bicycle. You put a saddlebag on a bicycle, hopefully you can find one. I haven't found one yet. But if you throw one on a bicycle, you're going to get 10 extra storage slots in a bicycle. That makes early game a lot different. I think that's a huge impact. 2 new zombies, as I mentioned. One's is going to be a clone of the Plague Spitter. They're going to call him Rancher Zombie. And the other one's going to be a clone of the Frost Claw. Actually, it's been replaced, not a clone. The model has been replaced that we're used to seeing, which I don't know if I like the Plague Spitter model. Frost Claw was kind of good. But they've been replaced, so we'll go in the game and see what they look like. The smell system is interesting. So, if you have 5 or more raw meat in your inventory, you are going to start the reek. There's a 10-second grace period. But what this ultimately means is, if you have raw meat on you, or the more raw meat you have, the more you're going to smell. When zombies smell you, they will react to that smell, which is a setting, and they will either, you can turn it off, or they'll walk, jog, run, sprint, or nightmare run at you if they smell you. So you're going to have a couple status indicators that show you how much you're smelling. You'll kind of know like the radius of your smell, which don't the zombies smell? I don't know. We can't smell them, but they can smell us. If you have flatulence, it's going to cause you to smell. This is very interesting mechanic. I want to see how it works in the game. There is a way around the smell, at least with raw meat. I guess with the dysentery, the fixes goldenrod tea, maybe. Whatever. What's the other one? I think it's the goldenrod tea fixes dysentery. I could be wrong on that. But the other workaround, if you just have raw meat because you're out there hunting for the day, you can wrap that. So paper actually has a use now. You can pack meat in bundles of 5 using paper and plant fiber. So a combination of those two. And you can store the raw meat in your vehicle as an option if you don't want it to smell. So if you have your vehicle, just stick all your raw meat in the vehicle, you're not gonna smell. If you have it on you, you don't have a vehicle yet, wrap it up with some paper and plant fibers. Both are relatively easy to get, obviously. So next one here is the distant storm rendering. So this is before you go into a system or into a new biome, you will have an indicator that there's a storm going on, which seems to happen all the time. And it annoys me because you really can't do anything. But they reworked some of it in that the zombies become more aggressive and will be more active during storms, which could be cool because they have a higher chance of dropping loot. So you're going to get loot bags during a storm. That makes it more interesting. If it's just not me going into a house and waiting it out and not being able to go outside, that's boring. But if I'm in a house and now it's getting under siege because maybe I smell and zombies are coming in, and not only am I killing these enhanced zombies, I think they are enhanced at least, with like, you know, they're radiated, not radiated, but feral, maybe even radiated, and you're killing them, at least you're going to get a better chance of getting a loot bag, which is going to have better loot in it, hopefully. So for temperatures, the next one here, it's basically saying if you're in the winter biome and you've got a flame near you, you're going to be able to stay warm. There's going to be protective clothing. So the protective clothing, 4 clothing insulation item groups that can be found and worn to increase the player's hot and cold resistance, protection time against storms, including socks, cap liners, long underwear, and glove liners. And there's 3 tiers: tattered, patchwork, and thermal core, which sounds like a brand name. So you'll be able to insulate yourself, protect yourself against the elements, and gives you a little extra protection against the storms as they move in. So that's kind of cool. I'll be interested to see how that is. Next is the Apiary workstation, which we can craft. We need beeswax, which is that new? I don't remember seeing beeswax. I think that's a new item. You'll have to collect beeswax from stumps or from the rancher zombie. So there's a nice synergy there. And with 100 wood, 50 nails, 10 forged iron, 8 duct tape, it's relatively easy to get very early game. And you can at least start getting 1 honey every 2 game days. So that's a little rich, right? 2 game days for 1 honey. At that point, I'm questioning why do I want to spend all this? I mean, it's not super expensive. Why not have it? If you get an infection, typically have 2 days to get it fixed before it causes any real damage anyway. So had to see again, how's that going to work in the game? How's it synergize, to use that word again, with everything else that we're doing in the game? Is it something like, yeah, I need to have this around because now I've got these 3 new recipes that the game just added with the honey tea, the honey glazed sham, and the honey brisket. So the honey tea cures infection and hydrates, which is pretty cool. I like that. The ultimate survivor food. So the honey glazed sham, it says sham mixed with honey. So I'm imagining the recipe is a can of sham and a honey. Probably like 2 honey and a can of sham or something like that. And water, of course. Gotta have, everything has to have water. And then the last one here is the honey brisket, the ultimate survivor food. 150 food points and heals your infections. This one's really interesting. We'll see what it takes to get that. If it's just honey and meat, that's fantastic. But it's probably gonna be like honey, meat, potatoes, all the other crap. Of course, 3rd-person mode, you can turn it on and off. We'll have a slider for field of view. Yeah, I think this is going to be interesting. We'll have to see what it looks like in the game. Different modes available. Camera distance can be adjusted. Very nice to finally have this, which is basically vehicle mode. Since you can pan and zoom your vehicle mode with using, for me, it's the mouse wheel. But we'll see what that looks like for the player. And I don't know if I want to be able to peek around corners without having to go around the corner. I like the surprise of it because they can't surprise me. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm under contract. There's no jump scares for me, but without risking them violating my contract, I could see using 3rd-person camera to peek around the corner, and then I know, like, okay, we're not going to be in breach here, fun pimp, so I don't have to sue you guys. Universal ammo compatibility. So turret now accepts all ammunition tiers. So we have way more flexibility with the turret ammo. That's cool. Entity piercing, advanced entity piercing mechanic for high tier ammunition are currently work in progress. So if you use your armor piercing rounds, I'm guessing it's not going to be effective. So stick with your basic ammo for now is basically what that's telling me. Different ammunition types now provide distinct armor piercing rounds for tough enemies. But you just said, so is it hollow points? Maybe it's hollow points that aren't working yet. I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like. I don't think I have a turret yet in my game, and I'm not going to spawn one in. Maybe if I get one next time I go in. You never do know. This is one of my favorites, the quest improvements. So now the traders are going to show 7 quests in each tier. So we're going to get more options. And we're going to get 3 that are close, 3 that are medium, and 1 that's far. So the days of seeing a bunch of quests that are all a kilometer or more away looks like they're over. We'll see what it looks like in game. But that's fantastic because I don't want to have to go 2 kilometers to do a quest. Especially a quest at my current game stage, which can take a full day and then have to come all the way back to the trader and probably miss the trader and have to wait till the next day. It's just very inefficient. We get a new character window rendering so we can rotate our character in the screen when we're looking at what they're wearing and get that little 3D model of them. That's kind of cool. New cosmetic skins we don't have to pay for. So the Santa hat, I'm getting the Santa hat. I don't know about you guys. So if I get the Santa hat, I got to go in third person mode. We're going to do day 42 in the Santa hat. That would be cool. Maybe we could put a big Christmas tree on top of the base. I don't know how I would do that. Maybe I have to plant one. Can you even do that? God, now you're making me think about other things. Squirrel. All right, back on. This new Trader Jen model, I don't know what the hell they're doing to Jen. I swear to God, if she has a nose ring and tattoos, I am out. I am out. She's a doctor, okay? She's a doctor. Let's treat her with some god dang respect. And then new food and water bars with stats. This is a mod many people have done. So we're gonna get numbers, easier to gauge how much food or water you need. This has been a mod for a long time. They finally just ended somebody's mod for the last few years, and now we can actually see it in game. Very cool stuff.
Riding the wave, no need to pretend.